And hello and welcome to Hindsight Tonight. I'm Damian Muziani, and here's your news. Leading off, it's out of the frying pan and into the pressure cooker for former President Donald Trump. Less than a month after he was penalized $83 million in the Jean Carroll case in New York, he was then hit with a $350 million fine for fraudulently filing false financials that, according to Bloomberg, reduced his overall wealth by 20%. The champion of both cases, New York Attorney General Letitia James, is ironically helping Trump's and President Joe Biden's image by showing that senior citizens can still control America. She turned 65 last October. A synonymous senior smackdown broke out online. Trump said this about James.
Before you got the case, said Letitia James, that's another case altogether. She's a horribly corrupt attorney general.
Ooh, a horribly corrupt attorney general. Well, not to be outsmacked, James then had this to say about Trump.
Today, justice has been served. Today, we prove that no one is above the law. No matter how rich, powerful, or politically connected you are, everyone must play by the same rules.
Well, asterisk there, right? Because no one is above the law unless, of course, you are the law. James is following in the footsteps of a string of former New York AGs like Eliot Spitzer, Andrew Cuomo, and Eric Schneiderman, who all resigned from public office in disgrace without prosecution over the last 15 years. All of these attorneys general, including Tish, had one thing in common: an annual war chest of $2 billion tax dollars and 700 attorneys under them to attack people and ruin lives at their slightest whim. James didn't seem to think that no one was above the law when she refused to prosecute Schneiderman, her former boss. He was such a great champion of women's rights, right up to the moment that reporter Ronan Farrow revealed that he was violently assaulting women. That's the opposite of helping them if you're keeping score at home. Strangling women during sex, spitting on them, hurling racial epithets, and recklessly abusing alcohol during his tenure as New York's top cop. That sounds pretty corrupt to us. He was so busted that he resigned only 3 hours later, but did he get reprimanded? Of course not. New Attorney General Letitia James just walked away and pretended like nothing happened. Because you see, some people are above the law. Think about this. Letitia James and 1,800 other employees of the New York Attorney General's office, including Ivy League lawyers, top-notch investigators, worked side by side with Schneiderman for 7 years and apparently had no clue that he was a monster. Yet Frank Sinatra's son saw it all from uptown almost immediately. Your tax dollars asleep. And if you think taxpayers in New York are being fleeced, lawmakers in Concord, New Hampshire said, "Hold my shears," and introduced a bill on how to say Concord, New Hampshire. Apparently nobody there knows how after 300 years on the map. The choices are between Concord and Hampshire and Hampshire, and guess what? They're all wrong. Ask any true New Englander to park the car in Harvard Yard anywhere in town, and they will pronounce it Concord, New Hampshire, which doesn't match either option. I guess you can just throw a label on anything these days. Like those down in Olinda, Brazil, which was in high gear for the annual Carnival festival last week, grand marshaled for the last 45 years by a Bonico puppet of which famous celebrity? No, not Liberace. That's close, though. No, it's not Tony Curtis. No, Brazilians think this looks like John Travolta. They drink a lot at Carnival. Yes, this effluent effigy has been passing itself off as Vinnie Barbarino since 1979, proving that love is indeed blind. We think it's great that the puppet can't talk, since the real Travolta says things like,
"Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem."
Adele Dazeem? Oh, you mean Idina Menzel. Where's her Bonico at? One thing these celebrity puppets have in common is that they all look incredibly constipated. Must be all that picanha. Carnival is a great reminder for America that false idols have only one pronunciation. And that's your news. Have a great week. Don't forget to like us and subscribe. And I'll see you next Sunday with Fresh Hindsight.